Hello, welcome to Bradford Cathedral. We're going to learn how to make a Christingle today. All that you will need is some cocktail sticks, silver foil cut into a nice square, some fruit, an orange, some kind of red tape or ribbon, a candle and some sellotape. Now that you've got them, I don't seem to have any materials for my own Christingle, but it is a magical season, so let's see what we can rustle up. The first thing that we need is an orange. I know. Amazing, huh? You see, the orange represents the world. And as Christians, we believe that God created the world out of nothing, just like I did just then. The world was created to be juicy, just like an orange, enjoyable for all of us. But sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I bite into an orange, it's sour and bitter, just like the world can be. It can be sweet, it can be bitter. The only way that we can find out which it is by getting into the orange itself, biting into it and getting involved in it. Well, it's exactly the same with our lives. We don't know if the world is going to be pleasant or if it's going to be bitter, it's going to have some issues, some challenges, or whether there's going to be some really great things to enjoy. We have to get involved in the world. So, with the orange, we also need fruit or sweets, depending on which you prefer. I think it can just come right here in front of me. There we go. Wonderful. Got lovely fruit here. You've probably chosen sweets, that's okay. Whenever we make Christingles, these are the first things to go. Even before the end of a service, people cannot resist a raisin or a sweet. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to put these onto cocktail sticks and we're going to put them into the orange. Be very careful, you might want to have a parent or helper for this. If you are not as careful as me, watching me putting these on. These fruit or sweets, we want 4 cocktail sticks with sweets and fruit on. They represent the seasons, the 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn and winter. And they are representing the fruits of creation, the fruits of the season, the things that we can enjoy in the world. But you don't have to look far to know that the fruit of our labours, the things that we get to enjoy, is not fairly shared around. There are people who go without, particularly at this season. And that is the problem. Just in those Christingle services when you're keen to eat the sweets and gobble them all up, sometimes we do not consider our actions and how we use the fruits of creation. And so we take them for granted and we don't share them equally. That's kind of what makes the world a bitter place. When we don't share and we don't look after others and make sure that they get the fruits of creation as well. Once you've put them on the cocktail sticks, you want to just shove them in. Try and keep them nice and even round. But it's up to you as to your design. There we go. It should look like that now. So next up, we've got our world, we've got the fruits of harvest and creation. Next thing is the red ribbon or the red tape, depending. And again, I don't seem to have any with me, but the red tape and the red ribbon should go around the orange. It represents the love of God, that God loves the whole world. Whether it's bitter or it's sweet, He loves you and He loves me. And He wants us to enjoy the good things and to share it equally so that all the people that He loves, that's everyone in the world, gets a fair share of those fruits. And He wants to change our hearts with that love. Now, the reason it is red, we'll come back to in just a moment, but it's a miracle that God's love can be present in our world. We sometimes think of God as far off, somewhere up in heaven. But actually He comes and He embraces the world. When we don't expect it, we experience God's love. When we least expect it, it turns up. The final thing that we need is a candle. The candle represents Jesus, Jesus the light of the world. And in our darkest moment, when we can't find the light, when we can't see it, like I can't find my candle now and I don't have it with me, it miraculously turns up. Not in some flashy moment in a big palace or a big temple in the centre of all things, but in a humble stable, in some backwater, back street of a little known country in the world. Jesus turns up as the light in our darkness. Now, to put this into our orange, we are going to need silver foil, as we had before, and these cocktail sticks. Now, this is definitely a place for some help. You want to snap these cocktail sticks in two. Let's see if I'm strong enough. Oh, I am. And we're going to make little feet for the candle. And you're going to need some sellotape for this. You're going to take the sellotape and you're going to stick these little feet along in a little line, nice and spaced out. I'm going to show you this. There you go. So it looks a bit like that. Then you're going to wrap that around the candle. Maybe just get the candle and then roll it so that you've got some feet. This is going to help it stay in the orange. Like that. So be very careful. You're going to stick them so you've got some feet there. Okay, it doesn't have to be even. And then you're going to put the silver foil on the top of the orange and, again, with help, shove the candle in, and those cocktail sticks are going to help it stay. The silver foil stops the wax from dripping in the orange so that it can still be enjoyed later. But Jesus, just like this candle, really needs to be pushed into the orange, into the world, into that bitterness, but also into the sweetness. Jesus comes and enters in with the love of God, embracing the world. And he comes to show us how to live. He came to be like one of us, to help us to see what it looks like, to share life, to share the good things of life, to share our possessions, our lives, our loves, our hopes, our fears with other people. And this tin foil, although it's not an official part of a Christingle service, it's just there for use, but we might want to think of that as us reflecting Christ's light into the world. That we, if we allow Christ into our lives, we can reflect that light as it goes. So that's a Christingle. The only thing left to do is to light it. Have a very Merry Christmas.